Alright boys, welcome to the channel. Currently, I just turned 22 years old and I got my first big boy job. I work in public safety and health for the county. I currently make roughly 3K a month after taxes. My yearly salary is 62,000 before taxes. And this is my 2025 money management setup. This is my plan for how I'm going to have a net worth of over $10 million by the time I'm 65, create generational wealth for my kids and my kids' kids and my family. My goal is to be the first real millionaire, build real wealth in my family. And this is my plan to do it. If you guys haven't made a plan for 2025, I highly suggest you do. You can automate a lot of stuff, make things really easier so you can take emotion out of your decisions. Before we get into this, the main point I want to get across in this video is that there's never a right time to invest. You know, I understand that obviously mortgage rates are an all-time high, rent is not expensive, people have different, are in different financial situations, but as long as you put aside something and give it that opportunity to get that compound interest, you're setting yourself up for success in the future just by doing that. So even if it's just, I don't know, $20 a week or something, that will obviously grow and compound over time and give you like a nest egg that you can rely on sometime in the future. But the point is you have to automate it, take emotion out of it, and just let that sit and let that grow without even thinking or knowing about it. Yeah, this is my plan on how I'm gonna basically get to over 10 mil. So like I said earlier, make roughly 3K a month after taxes, after insurance, and after company retirement. So all of that 3,000 goes into an emergency fund, which is in a Discover high yield savings account. From there, 500 a month automatically goes to my checking account every single month, and that's for me to spend. Right now I'm 22, thankfully I live with my parents, I don't pay rent, so $500 a month is more than enough for me to, spend on food, groceries, gas, whatever. Every single time I get paid, I'm putting a large chunk of that paycheck into my Vanguard Roth IRA. Ignore this part. I was looking into SCHD. Obviously, this whole plan is going to have to be updated when I move out. I do plan on moving out, getting my own apartment within a year, which obviously that's going to change a lot of things. I'm going to have to switch some things around, but either way, I still should be able to invest at least like 14K a year, which is my current goal. And this is also something important to keep in mind. 12% of every single paycheck is automatically going towards my company retirement. My company offers a 457B, and I have the option to either contribute Roth or traditional. And Roth is basically you pay taxes now, but you don't have to pay taxes later when you're 65. Traditional is you don't have to pay taxes now, but you have to pay taxes when you're 65. And the reason I personally chose Roth is because I feel like right now when I'm young, I don't have as many financial responsibilities. I don't have kids, I don't have a wife, and I don't have any like payments I need to make. It's better for me to pay the taxes now and then be able to take that money out tax-free later. Another good point on this is that the taxes, when you're 65, the tax rate is probably going to be much higher than now. One, because you're going to be making more money. Two, just because of time. So I feel like personally, if you can afford it, it's a better idea to just do Roth and not have to pay taxes later. I understand that a lot of people out there, their companies only offer traditional 401ks, and a lot of them offer a match too. So like let's say they match 4%, then you might as well do 4% because you're basically getting a free 4%. So in that case, obviously I would highly suggest that you do that at the bare minimum. But yeah, thankfully I get the option. And then at the end of the year, I need to contribute the remaining amount just to make sure that I max out my Roth IRA. And these are kind of my priorities. So first priority, which this should be for all of you guys, is to have at least like a 6-month emergency fund in a high yield savings account. I personally use Discover. It gives around like 3 or 4%, which is pretty good. And there should be a check right here because I've already done this. I have about $6,000 in there, which is actually more than enough because I only spend $500 a month. So that's all good. My next priority is to max out my Roth IRA. Currently for the year of 2025, I think I have like 1,200 in there. But every single time I get a paycheck, which I get paid bi-weekly, I put a large chunk of that paycheck into that Roth IRA. So that should be maxed out pretty soon, honestly. My third priority is to put an additional $7,000 a year into VOO through Fidelity brokerage account. And my fourth priority after that is to save whatever money is left over, which should be a good amount, and put that in a high yield savings account so I can start saving for a house or an apartment. And let's say I stick to all these priorities, I should have an estimated net worth by the time I'm 65 of well over $10 million. Something I forgot to mention is that my company also does give me pension, which should be around $10,000 a month by the time I retire. Anyways, if we go over to ChatGPT to do the math, where is it? So I basically asked it if I invest $14,000 a year into VOO, reinvest all dividends, and earn an average of 10% annual return, by the age of 65, I'd have $8.33 million. Keep in mind that's not including my government pension, which pays me around $8,000 to $10,000 a month. That's not including my company retirement, which by the time I retire, that should be well over like $2 million. And that's not also including any potential assets I would have at that age. So my plan is, obviously I don't need $8.33 million in cash at the age of 65. And as you saw earlier, I was looking to SCHD, which is it's a fund basically that pays you, it has like pretty decent growth, and it pays you, I think, like a 3 or 4% dividend yield, which is really high. So I was like initially thinking about putting $7,000 a year into my Roth IRA, which would be maxing it out, and then putting the other $7,000 into SCHD so that I can build passive income. But that would mean that I lose out on potential growth. So I decided that the better idea is just to honestly spam VOO. Whether that's the $7,000 in the Roth IRA, the $7,000 in the traditional brokerage, just spam the fuck out of VOO. Because that's basically like the safest like growth fund that you can do, really, because it tracks S&P 500, averages 8 to 10% a year, pretty much guaranteed. I mean, let's be real. So spam VOO, 8.3 mil by the age of 65, and not all of this is going to be tax free, but about half of this will be tax free. So what I could do is I could sell some of this 8.3 million, put into SCHD, so that once I retire and I stop working, I can replace my income with SCHD income. You know, I don't know what the math on that is, but like, okay, like how much would I have to put into SCHD to make, I don't know, let's say like $10,000 a month. Okay, so let's say 3.5 is more realistic. So you need to put about 3.4 mil into SCHD to make $10,000 a month. So, you know, at the age of 65, I can just sell some of this, put 3.5 mil, still have a large chunk of cash left over, and then I could just live off $10,000 a year for the rest of my life. Or you also got to keep in mind that the VOO also pays you a small dividend. I think it's like 1.5%. So like, let's say if I have 8.33 million in VOO at the age of 65, how much will I make a month in dividends? Yeah, so I mean, honestly, off the bat, I'll be making $10,000 a month in dividends, so I don't even need to do that. So I could keep the cash, 8.2 mil in VOO, still make $10,000 a month, live off that passive income for the rest of my life, and then I could sell a large chunk of this 8.2, maybe roughly half, tax-free because it'll be in the Roth. So yeah, boys, I know some of this might sound a little bit complicated, but the point is, start investing now instead of later. Anything is better than nothing. Max out your emergency fund. Get a 6-month emergency fund because you never know type of shit that could happen. Your car could break down, whatever. You could get fucking evicted. You need to have a 6-month emergency fund. And then the next big thing is just to max out your Roth IRA. Anything over this, anything besides step 1 and 2 is not super necessary. Like you could get by just doing step 1 and 2, but this is just like kind of optional shit. But for most people, step 1 and 2 is what you want to focus on because those two is like kind of the foundation. But yeah, boys, this is just proof that like you don't need to make a lot of money, you know, to be rich when you're older. As long as you start investing now and you're consistent, like you're gonna be rich as fuck when you're older. Even if I make the same 62,000 for the rest of my life, like that's more than enough money for me to, you know, hit this goal. This isn't accounting for pay raises. You know, obviously, like in 10 years, I'm gonna be making a lot more money than 62,000 a year. So that's not accounting for that. It's not accounting for how much more I could invest with that larger salary. It's not accounting for bonuses, overtime. So there's so many opportunities to make more money that could obviously, you know, make this plan go by a lot quicker. But yeah, boys, the point is just do what you can now. Stay consistent, leave emotion out of it, and just grind it out.